Welcome to episode 1 of the Jungle Beat podcast presented by Happy Hour Sports. As many of you know, my name is Brett James, former Jaguars content creator, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Flash and Connor. This is a weekly podcast that will come out every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, discussing trending topics, news, and updates surrounding the Jaguars. Now, before we dive into today's topic, I want to take a brief moment to explain how Happy Hour Sports came to be and our goal with this company. We've been seeing and hearing from local fans that you guys wanted something newer, younger, and fresher than just traditional media in Jacksonville. Although we have a ton of respect for them, we feel like we can fill that void and become the new home for sports talk in Jacksonville. We also want to be involved in the community by working and supporting local businesses. And as we kick off this new chapter, we're excited to begin our mission and continue building alongside our Jacksonville community. We're also going to be having a weekly live stream every Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the tailgates or at a local bar, depending on if the Jaguars are home or away. Otherwise, welcome to the Jungle Beat podcast. How about we crack open a beer?
Let's do it.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
All right, fellas. Cheers.
Cheers.
Boys.
Cheers. Episode 1. That hazy IPA, that's actually pretty solid, man.
like that.
It's actually solid.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that.
You know, I wasn't the biggest IPA guy, but you know, I think maturing is realizing like IPAs are
It's kind of like
that's kind of nice, right?
A little
Yeah.
bit, a little bit. I don't like to chew my beer all that much.
Yeah, it's true.
but
Definitely don't like a
I like
slushy
to have
beer,
at
like,
least
right on the
more
frozen-
than one or two. But
Right.
for sure.
After that first one, I think you get the juices flowing.
Yeah.
Definitely,
You know?
definitely.
But I want to go ahead and just kind of like just dive into this,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think that there's been a lot of chatter about the Jags all offseason. A lot of good, a lot of bad, but I think from the national media, a lot more bad. And I think the most recent example was former Steelers safety, who's now ESPN analyst, who was, mind you, just here at the Miller Electric Center with the Pivot podcast, talking to Brian Thomas Jr., and was bashing essentially Travis Hunter and the Jaguars for making that pick. And Ryan Clark just had a very strong choice of words about Travis Hunter and about that selection. That clip's been going all over social media. And I'll read what Ryan Clark said here momentarily, but I just want to get your guys' initial thoughts because Ryan Clark is not the only national media member. Hell, even Bill Simmons was saying some stuff about Trevor Lawrence, who we'll talk about later. But just what was your reaction when you saw what Ryan Clark was saying about Travis Hunter, and do you think that there's anything to kind of validate even what he said?
Yeah. Well, why don't you read it for us? Because I think it's important because there's some things in there which I agreed with.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things where I
you just don't want to take it out of context.
I don't want to take it out of context, but
Okay.
why don't you read it real
So
quick?
yeah, let me go ahead and just tell you guys exactly what Ryan Clark said. So here's what Ryan Clark had to say about Jacksonville's first round selection, Travis Hunter. Clark stated, if he doesn't play on both sides of the football, you wasted a pick. You wasted assets. You decided that moving up to number 2 wasn't truly what you wanted to do because he's not the number 2 pick as a wide receiver. He's not the number 2 pick as a cornerback. If he's the number 2 pick, he plays both. He's the number 2 pick if he affects both sides of the football. If he doesn't do that, what you giving up next year's first round pick to get him is not worth it to play offense primarily or no defense and vice versa. So to me, if you make that decision based on his inability to physically hold up throughout 17 games, it was a mistake to draft Travis Hunter.
Which is
Thoughts? Which is a wild statement.
Which
to
is
make already.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It is because go ahead, bro.
No,
Go ahead. You take the floor.
Which is hilarious for a couple different reasons. One, he was the best corner in the draft. He was the best wide receiver in the draft.
That's debatable, but yes,
That is
go ahead.
debatable.
That's debatable, but go ahead.
Who's Tet?
Ted.
Tet definitely had
I
a
like Tet a lot.
yeah.
But if we were talking about ceilings, I think Travis really has.
Okay.
So, but even if that's so, I think it's definitely worth the risk. I mean, he's a generational talent. We say that, we've said it for other people, and maybe that's why we're getting a lot of dislike a lot of flack from the national media. We're sick of hearing these generational guys. We got to prove it, which they do.
Correct. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we've never seen anything like Travis Hunter. Last time we seen it was what, 1950, 1960, whatever, when they're playing.
Yeah,
both
Great
ways.
Depression. It was like Great Depression since we last seen that.
A little bit later.
Look, I've been watching football since the 1930s. Like I've never seen a player like Travis Hunter. Trust me.
I mean, he literally was coached by Dion, who was the last person to kind of do it on a
Even resembled just like that multi-sport athlete. That guy who's just one of one. Really.
Yeah, but I don't understand the hate at all because Travis Hunter was so beloved in college.
Yeah.
So there was so much positive press with him over the last 12 months. And then all of a sudden he got drafted by Jacksonville.
And now there's like all of this, like,
Now we don't like him.
Yeah.
Why? What's wrong with Jacksonville?
I think the statement is, to put it bluntly, it's a stupid statement. We clearly drafted him to play both sides.
Correct.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no in between. They said James Gladstone out of his own mouth said this is the type of player that changes the game.
Right.
You know, and I think we're going to continue to lean into that. We're going to have him play both ways. Like, if he wants to play both ways, we want him to play both ways. Why would he not?
It's not a conversation anymore. It's really not. It's not even.
It's not a
He's
conversation
talking
about
about
if
it.
he will. It's how he'll play on both sides.
Yeah, they've asked him to until they're blue in the face in every interview that
Exactly.
they've had.
Do you play? Do you?
Are you gonna play both sides? Like, bro,
Yes. Like, I
of
know
course.
he's tired of talking about it. Like,
Right.
let's just lace up and get at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now there have been some players, I think even like Devontae Adams, who's even said like there's no way he's going to hold up. And obviously there's a handful of others that have had their level of criticism. And look, at the end of the day, everyone's speculating. Hell, we're speculating about it as well.
100%.
And I just think that in regards to Ryan Clark's statements, because I'll stay on that track here for a moment.
Sure.
What Ryan Clark said, I don't think is incorrect, but I think he's way too premature.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a bit
if we're
short-sighted.
6-7 games, maybe even in the midpoint of the season, and Travis isn't performing on one side of the ball or is barely taking snaps defensively, maybe in just like nickel packages or something, fine. But as of right now, nobody knows. This is a completely brand new experiment. This is something coaching staffs like Liam, Grant Udinsky, and a handful of others have addressed that like this is all new to us in terms of his preparation, the meeting rooms, just learning two different sides of the ball. There's like so much nuance that goes into it that nobody knows. But as you mentioned though, he was prolific at Colorado. He was prolific at Jackson State, albeit Jackson State, but
Travis
he
Hunter
did
knows.
that.
Travis
Hunter knows.
Travis Hunter knows.
If he couldn't do it,
If
right.
Yeah. If I think what Trevor Lawrence and a handful of other players have said just about how this guy just does not get tired.
Yeah.
Like this guy just goes out and he's flying down the field.
Yeah.
Trevor even said there was one time he's like, oh, he ran a route down the field, didn't run it right, and he came right back. He's like, usually receivers, they'll wait their turn back in line, run that route again. He's like, no, he's like, I'm just go. He's like, he's go.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying with generational talent. He's got a superpower.
Yes.
It's different than saying, he was good. He was the rawest, in my opinion. I think he was probably one of the rawest talents to come out of college, and he was drafted number 2.
Right.
So what does that tell you? It means he's got room to grow.
Right.
Yep.
So what Ryan Clark is saying to a point, like I think we should.
It is premature though.
I think we should dissect it a little bit. Like, what did he say that we agree with, and what did we say that we disagree?
Right. And
I think, but just
Go ahead.
off the top of the head, what I can agree with is if he does not play both sides of the ball, which is there's zero chance of that.
Right.
You know
At
what
least
I mean?
for in
Like,
year one, for sure.
Yes, in year one, there's zero chance of him not playing both sides of the ball. If he's saying that, like, if he doesn't do it to a point to where it affects both sides of the ball, I can understand kind of where he's going with it. But I also don't judge people off of their first year. I personally don't do that.
Especially
You know
a
what I mean?
21, 22-year-old, whatever he is.
Like, he's still learning the game. He's still learning, like, even during preseason, like when he missed the tackle where he's supposed to have outside leverage, I think that like that's a teachable thing to where, you know what I mean? He's a rookie. Let's give him the proper
of the
grace.
You know what I mean? Like, give him some grace.
100%.
He's not gonna get it. So he's not gonna get it. He knows he's not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with because Travis Hunter's a dog.
Yes.
That's the other thing people don't understand. They're looking at the
that
athlete.
personality, man.
They're looking at the athlete. You got to look at the person, Travis.
Right.
I mean, if you look at any interview he's ever done, I mean, since he got to Jacksonville, look at, the airplane with Miss Sandy or whatever.
Yeah.
On the
was
airplane
awesome.
with him, he's been backyards. He's in at Cookies and Cream.
Yeah.
He's got his face on a mural.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
literally.
He hasn't even played an official snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which some could say, that's premature. But to be honest with you, like, I think
We're embracing
us and Jax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, we want that. Like, we want
100%.
we're the bold city. We want to be bold.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's where the new regime's getting it right.
And that's what, and I'm glad you brought up the point about us being bold, because it's not just about James Gladstone being bold, right? Moving up from number 5 to number 2, going to get a raw generational prospect. But like, we are the bold city of the South, right? Like, Jacksonville is a big small town, right? Jacksonville is absolutely the South. Jacksonville is a very Southern, oriented community, and we embrace that. You know what I mean? Like Travis Hunter is a Southern boy, Trayvon Walker, Southern boy,
yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, Southern boy. Like we embrace that, and it's just something about that Southern tendency and that culture that like we really wrap our arm around those guys, and we continue to bring them in and embrace them.
It's the
So
hospitality, man. Like
It's the
it's the
hospitality,
hospitality. When you're a part of us, we embrace you like family.
Yeah.
100%. And I think that's why a lot of the national media, and especially a lot of quote unquote big time athletes who have never really been to Jacksonville, experienced Jacksonville, don't really know like what we're about.
Right.
Because you can go to any side of Jacksonville and you get a completely different vibe, a completely different like culture shift.
But you'll always find love.
But
Yeah.
you'll always find love. It's Southern hospitality. And like this is a city that does want to embrace those guys. And I think just back to the point with Travis Hunter though, like it is premature in the sense of like nobody knows. Ryan Clark is absolutely projecting. But when we talk about like what we agree with or maybe what we not agree with, here's something that stuck out to me about what he said. He said, you decided that moving up to number 2 wasn't truly what you wanted to do because he's not the number 2 pick as a wide receiver. He's not the number 2 pick as a cornerback. He is the number 2 pick if he plays both. So would you agree with that? Because let's just say for the sake of conversation, we both know and we all know that this season he's going to play on both sides of the ball. How much percentage-wise and snap-wise? Of course, nobody knows that until we know. But let's just say a year, 2 years goes down the road. He ends up being an elite wide receiver, but not a great corner, or vice versa. He ends up being elite, defensively speaking, but doesn't end up being the wide receiver that we project him to be.
Sure.
Is that considered a bust at that point, considering what he was in college and what you moved up for to get him?
No.
In my opinion, no.
I don't think so.
I think
if he's elite at
If he's elite at anything, if he's elite at anything, we won.
Has anybody
we won, absolutely.
Has anybody followed any of the past drafts? You know how many busts there are
At the top of the draft? Oh, absolutely.
So many.
I'm not going to say
Just had Trey Lance. We just briefly talked about him before the show.
Yeah.
Trey Lance got moved up for the Suns in heavens from San Francisco, and he's a backup.
I'm not going to, it might be premature to say he's not going to be, but he's kind of bust proof. They've talked about this.
I don't know if he's bust proof.
In my opinion,
I think Travis is great. Come on. Go ahead.
In my opinion, I think he's a Hall of Fame caliber corner. Coming out of the draft, I thought if they had to go one way, corner was the way. The way he plays the ball is unbelievable.
Absolutely. His just instincts.
I didn't really believe in him as much as a wide receiver, but then I went back and looked at the tape.
Yeah.
Bro, even if he doesn't have ideal route running right now, which like we talked, he's raw, he's going to grow. It's gonna get there.
I felt the opposite.
Really?
I felt like that his wide receiver mechanics and the way he cuts on drills, the ways that his route running was very crisp. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like in Colorado, he had a lot of go balls, but in those situations, he's beating that corner. There's a lot of corners that he's beating. There's a lot of corners that he's just more talented than.
Yeah.
And I think watching him in preseason, I was like, I don't know if I'm sold on him at corner, but then I watched him. But then I watch him against who was that? Was that Pittsburgh? I think that was Pittsburgh. He's running the routes at corner better than the people that are running the routes on the other side. And if you're throwing that ball, that's a pick every single time.
Yeah, Smoot had a sack on one of those.
Exactly, because he was doing so well in coverage. You know what I mean? And so it was really dope to see.
Yeah, when he was playing the deep third, or is that the one you're referring to? When the quarterback had to rethink when that guy was coming over.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
I know what you're referring to.
It was the coverage sack.
The cover sack. Yeah.
Just real quick though, what you're saying about him at wide receiver in college too, and this is, I mean, I guess it's universal. No matter what conference you play in, you could say the SEC is top dog, but he's playing in the Big 12. The defense isn't that great, of course. But here's the thing. He was winning on pure athleticism.
Yeah.
Like he was going over the top of guys. He's catching balls on screens and making moves. But he's not refined as a route runner. To your point, yet. But he's gonna get there.
Right.
And it says a lot that he can do what he did in college and the awards that he won. The highs that he won. It's like
exactly.
He won the best wide receiver award.
Right.
And the best defensive back award and the Heisman award. And
he won the best player award.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
So he's done all that. And guess what? He's starting at square one, basically.
Yeah.
Of what he could be.
And that's what every rookie has to do coming in, right? No matter if you're first pick, second pick, or the last pick in the draft, right? What do they call it? Mr. Irrelevant? Is that what they say?
Mr. Irrelevant.
Doesn't matter. You have an opportunity. Wasn't Brock Purdy Mr. Irrelevant?
Yeah.
Look at Brock Purdy now. He's balling.
Right.
Right? Like, everyone has to come in and prove it, right? And hell, even our starting quarterback does, who we'll talk about here momentarily. But just back to the point of Travis. So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you think he provides more value
at receiver. Yes.
Offensively. How do you feel?
Defense.
See, it's weird. I think he provides more value offensively for what Jacksonville needs. Opening up this offense, right? Just putting that extra weapon alongside Brian Thomas and just getting Trevor Lawrence to be everything that he can be and then some. So I think he has more value there, but I actually think he's better as a corner right now. I think just
he's better.
Yes, I think so. I think where he's actually a better player in year one is going to be at corner. Absolutely.
Interesting.
Him dropping back into coverage, reading the eyes of the quarterback, and instinctually playing with that. I think is going to serve so much, especially in a weak secondary for Jacksonville that's still going to have to figure it out. But where he's going to provide more value to this team in year one, even if he's going to take a majority of his snaps, is going to be on the offensive end.
Right.
Having that ability in misdirection, jet sweeps coming across the middle. And then just even taking the top off the defense, right? If you want to have BTJ work underneath, work all the intermediate stuff, you can have Diami on one side, Travis on another, run a ton of motion, like he's going to provide so much to Trevor Lawrence in this offense from what we anticipate, of course.
100%
that
agree.
I think he is going to provide more value. And the most important job of Liam Cohen and this organization and this new regime is to get Trevor Lawrence playing his best football. There's no discussing that. This team's only going to go as far as Trevor goes. So Travis can make a bunch of plays defensively speaking. You know, he can have a bunch of coverage sacks, hell, even a couple of turnovers created. But, you know, if he's not making an impact on the offensive end and if other guys aren't getting more opportunities because of what Travis is going to be able to do just with his gravity, it's not going to help out the rest of the guys around him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I would say, if we're talking Travis Hunter aside, absolutely. Like, you got to get T-Law right. Like, you got to. So that's, and to your point, I agree with you. Yeah, that's the more valuable
side of things.
But guess what, guys? Liam Cohen, everybody's been saying he's playing both sides, and they put a number on it. Everybody keeps asking Travis the same question. What are you going to do? How much are you going to do it? 80% of the snaps on offense and on defense.
That is crazy.
He's going to play.
That's crazy.
I don't think
he's going to start. Guys,
he's capable.
He's going to start at corner. Week one, and he's going to start at wide receiver week one.
So,
I don't know, man.
Do you remember there was the rumors and there was kind of the speculation like, okay, maybe what they're going to do with Travis is slowly get him integrated on defense because, you know, offensively, the Jags are going to need him. And that by like week 5, when we get to primetime football, Monday Night Football, they were like going to quote unquote like unleash him. It's going to be like a trending topic in the national media. Everyone's going to be talking about Monday Night Football at the bank. Like, oh, Travis Hunter's going to be starting at corner now, right? Opposite side Tyson Campbell. And then that's just going to be the headline. Do you think he's starting week 1 defensively?
Listen, I think I said the same thing, and I don't know if I said it to you on Twitter too, but I think week 4 against the Chiefs will be his breakout game.
Is it week 4 or is it week 5? I think it's week 5.
Week 5. Yeah.
I think it's week 5,
All right, we'll go over this.
We'll have to look it up. I see it in front of me.
I thought it was 4, but
no, I think it's 5.
Against the Chiefs though. I think that Monday night game will be the Travis Hunter breakout game.
Interesting.
That would be crazy. I think it's a pick on Mahomes. Could you imagine?
The reason I say week 1 specifically is because of the injuries. So like Tyson right now is a little banged up. Not too bad, but Tyson, Monteric Brown, like I think he's gonna play more than you think right away.
And I'm fine with that.
But I do agree. I think they will work him in gradually. But he's at the end of the day, this season he's gonna be the starting wide receiver 2 and corner.
Yes.
At CB2. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just don't think he has to play as much as we think. And this is going into like, and we'll talk more about the offseason additions and things like that. But I think the offseason additions that we have made puts him in a position to play both sides at a really comfortable level instead of like having to be out there so often. You know, and I think that
I just want to see him, dude.
You know, of course, we all want to see him, but I would like to see him when we need him. You know what I mean? Instead of because when you try to just put him out there, you know what I mean?
They're gonna put him in positions though. Like that's the thing that not a lot of people are talking about. It's like he played in elevation in college.
Correct.
That's
he played
fair.
up tempo against up tempo offense.
That's
in
fair
college.
as well.
Have you guys sat through a TV timeout in the NFL?
Right. Yeah. it
Like,
takes
bro,
forever,
it's
yeah.
43
It takes-
seconds.
Especially at the bank. Like we're scorching hot in there.
Oh my
It's
god!
sweating.
And nobody's doing
Yeah.
anything,
Bro, so
crazy.
it's gonna be more relaxed for him in the NFL than it is in college, and everybody's sweating that he's gonna be overwhelmed. It's the mental thing over anything.
I think it is the mental thing. I think it's also just the pure physicality of like these ain't boys in the Big 12. Like this is
ain't Big 12
grown ass
defense,
men trying to pay
man.
their bills. They're gonna knock you out.
He's got to put on the same weight Devonta Smith in Philly.
Correct,
put
yeah.
on. That same. He was a
He was like
strength
165, I think, coming out of Bama, but he was a Heisman winner.
Yeah,
So I think it was something like that.
but now
he's
he's yoked now. Like well, sort of for a skinny guy.
For a small-
for a smaller guy, right?
He's got to put that same 10. You got to be like 190, 195.
The durability is going to be a huge key to how long he's going to be able to do
If
this.
Travis, if we just project, if he can at least play 15 games out of the year, you would take that.
Yeah.
If he misses a game or two,
100%.
fine.
Yeah.
You know, outside of the bye week, of course, because like honestly, his body's going to need just as much rest as everybody else's does.
They gave him a whole day off in college during the practice.
Right, of
I don't
course,
know if they're going to do that in the NFL.
I think that's something that they're going to try to implement. Of course, you know, we're not in the building to really know that.
Yeah.
Right. But I would anticipate something like that, especially with just the upped physicality.
I mean, in training camp, they didn't. They didn't play him this joint practice against Miami.
I don't
Right.
think he needed to
Because of
play.
that, I
Yeah,
think.
I don't
And that's
think he needed
fine.
to
Like
play.
I couldn't care less that he's not, you know, playing in the Saints game in week 2 in the preseason.
Yeah, or
he's going to practice against,
he'll be ready.
you know,
He'll be
he's
ready.
fine. He's fine. I trust the coaching staff to at least get him up to speed with everything. And then at that point, it's just going to be learning curves, like you kind of mentioned earlier, things that are teachable, coachable.
Yeah.
Nobody questions the talent. Nobody questions the athleticism. It's just
Ryan Clark.
well, maybe Ryan Clark.
Maybe Ryan Clark.
Yeah,
Maybe him,
I mean,
yeah.
I won't even go too far.
I mean,
down
Bill
that,
Simmons
yeah.
questions Trevor.
Right, and that's exactly what I wanted to actually talk about next, because we talked about, you know, where's Travis going to be most valuable, right? His job, and not just his job, but just this coaching staff is to get Trevor. Organization is we're only going to go as far as Trevor goes.
Yeah.
Right. If Trevor plays his best, and we've seen Trevor at his best, especially throughout sustained periods of time, like we see how effective he can be. We can see how he can put the team on his back, and he can lead us in games.
Right.
Right. That's not a question, right? We've seen inconsistencies. It's been, you know, an up and down start to his career throughout a multitude of factors. But if Travis Hunter can be that guy and help open up this offense, and Liam Cohen and these guys can get Trevor playing where he wants, you know, Trevor Lawrence should be able to lead this team. And like we mentioned with Ryan Clark, like Bill Simmons just recently, and all of Jack's Twitter is going crazy over Bill Simmons saying, hey, look, you know, I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence anymore. He's not a good football player. He's completely out on him. Like Bill Simmons didn't even give Trevor the time of day to be like, hey, I'm going to see how he looks under this new regime. We saw how Liam worked with Baker and how he, you know, really opened up that Buccaneers offense. No, it was just like Trevor's bad.
Yeah,
Which
off of it.
he's a turnover machine.
Yeah.
Guys mechanically not fluid. Like he's just all of these problems. And I'm sorry, like Bill Simmons doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
He's a basketball head over anything.
Yeah, and look, I love Bill. I love Bill Simmons in that regard.
But he's not wrong with these. Here's what I'm going to say.
Wow.
That's going to surprise you. He's not wrong with what he said.
No, he's wrong. He's
Well,
wrong.
to a point.
He's wrong.
Hold on.
Agree with everything?
No, to a point, he's not wrong. Trevor's shown some really low lows and some really high highs. He's been injured half that time.
I don't think that's his fault.
Outside of 22, that second half of 22. Where else has he played really well?
There was absolutely with certainty. If you want to take like from like, let's say it was like week 9, I think of like 2022. I think it was that Vegas comeback. We were down like 17-0. And let's just take it from that moment till what was it? Cincinnati week 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Not even week 10. It was like week 12. It was like a primetime game before he got injured. And like we mentioned, he was willing and dealing in that game. We win that Cincinnati. We're 9-3 after that game.
Yeah, they lost more because of the defense.
Yeah. And sure. But like, let's just take from like that Vegas comeback, right? We take everything into account and a factor, even the postseason comeback, even the Kansas City game, and then into the 2023 season where we're 8-3, fighting for the number 1 seed in the you know, AFC. And then he gets injured against Cincinnati, where he was having a terrific game beforehand. That is a large enough sample size to show and display like what he has been able to do and the consistency of it Now,
flashes though.
Sure, absolutely.
I want to preface this. I love Trevor. I want him to succeed. He's got to. I can't talk anymore about the potential or the flashes. If I hear anybody say flash one more time, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, there's only one flash."
Right, there's only one flash, right?
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear any more flashes about Trevor. I'm excited to see him this year. He looks unbelievable in camp. So he looks
very,
better.
very little bit of preseason we saw. Very little bit of preseason.
He looked good.
He looks good.
Yes,
But I gotta see it before because I've been burnt too many times.
yes. Okay, so here before you chime in though,
Please.
you said Bill Simmons isn't wrong, or you don't think what he said is wrong. What do you mean by that? Like please elaborate.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
I wanna make
because
sure
he said
that-
he's out. Like he's not a good quarterback.
I'm not out. I'm not out. That's.
But do you believe that he's not a
So,
good
but so you
quarterback?
don't think that what he said is necessarily wrong to think
I don't
and feel?
think. I think from a national perspective that his thought process from not being within Jax and seeing Trevor and really supporting him too, because like it's a fine line between delusional and are we telling the truth or do we just want him to be really good?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I understand why some people, because they got burnt, because one of the things that you don't realize is he actually the year before was all over Trevor saying, "Yo, he's the guy. He's gonna come out."
Yeah.
Guess what? He got burnt. Yeah. So just like we all did.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's more about injuries and coaching staff. The kiss of death for any quarterback, especially a young quarterback, is coaching change.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in offensive line play, which we'll get into, I'm sure too, because I don't even think what you're saying about Travis Hunter is true. Like they brought him in to be a weapon and things like that.
Right.
Guess what? If this O-line isn't running the ball, we ain't doing anything
Hell
this year.
no. Hell no.
If we're
Like,
we're
that's part
running,
of
we're
that's part
running.
of my thing.
Yeah.
And my thing is like with the O-line that he had to play behind, I think that we saw a lot of Trevor kind of in panic mode a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was getting hit in a lot of these games. They were in his face every time he was dropping back.
Yeah.
You know, like our interior O-line was not great. They were bullying us off the edges sometimes. Like, and I think that a lot of time when he got the actual time to actually throw the ball, he was still like, oh my God, somebody's gonna hit me.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that if
that clock was sped up.
That clock was way sped up. Like, and that's why his footwork looked shaky. Everything from that offensive line was really crazy. And then let's not even forget that from 2021 to 2024, Jaguars led the league in drop passes.
Yeah.
Like if we're actually like thinking about Trevor was putting the ball on the money a lot of times, and people
More
just
often-
were
yeah,
not
more
more
often
often than
not.
not. People
That's
were just
fair.
dropping the ball.
That's
It is, yeah.
You know, and I think that we have to like when we're talking what Bill Simmons is talking about is just everything that everybody's saying in the media right now seems very short-sighted and very just surface level.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's surface level because it's national media.
Right.
Well, of course,
it's not,
yeah.
It's not local because I mean, there's some local fans that don't believe in Trevor because it's
And
long hair.
I'm sorry,
You know what I mean? It's like
Wait, I'm sorry. Like, if you really want to go back, just to that point, I'm sorry. If you really want to go back,
yeah.
freaking love Blake Bortles to the death of me. Okay, but if you want to go back to the Blaine Gabbert, Blake Bortles days, I'm sorry. When is the last time Jacksonville has seen this city has seen a quarterback throw the ball like Trevor, had the kind of confidence to step up like Trevor, put the team on his back, and honestly,
Brunell?
he is since Brunell, literally,
Since Brunell, I mean-
and I love David Garrard to death also.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence. When is one time throughout the entirety of the Doug Peterson fallout, ever one time in a press conference, called out Doug, called out press, showed any kind of lashing back? No, he always put it on himself.
He always put it on himself.
Because that's
always.
what a man of a franchise and the face of a franchise is willing to do, especially as the quarterback.
I think Trevor's awesome. I believe in Trevor full. That's why I see what you're saying with the Bill Simmons thing.
It's just crazy. To
Yes,
me. Like,
it's not that I believe Bill Simmons or I agree with him. It's I understand.
I understand. Yes, from the national.
That's what I'm
perspective.
from a national perspective, you're not looking at the team like we would be looking at the team because you're looking at 32 teams. Right. So I think that there's just this, and it's so different. I hate hearing national media talk about like any team in specific because you guys clearly are not watching them with the same type of eyes that we are watching them with.
Exactly.
You know, and it is just frustrating, bro.
So I mean, think about this though. I mean, I think if the O-line, like that's why I'm going to harp on this because part of why Trevor didn't play well I mean, he's had his own issues. We can't put it all on
Of
side
course.
things.
We agree.
But the O-line has not been able to run the ball at all, especially inside. If you go third and short, I mean, I was watching Doug Peterson call plays.
Doug Peterson's offense ran by Press Taylor.
Doug Peterson call plays where ETN would run into the back of Luke Fortner every third play.
It was 2023 was the hardest thing to watch.
Bro, I had my dad come into town
Yeah.
one year, and I think they were playing ball. I think it was the Baltimore comeback.
Yeah.
Came down
Shout out to Agnew for that touchdown.
And Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about 2022. I thought you were talking about the Baltimore game where Agnew had that end zone. Remember Agnew had like a 65-yarder?
Like Agnew.
Yeah,
You know you like Agnew.
I love Agnew.
I love Agnew.
Highlight
love
reel.
Agnew.
Yeah.
But no. But what I'm saying is that second half of 2022, kind of really the first game, I think it was Baltimore when they came back and won it. But I told my dad, because we were watching it together, I go, watch what they do here. They're going to run it into the back of the center. He's like, what are you talking about? Like,
Right up to the
trust me.
Yep.
Every other play, it was in the back. They would get 0 yards up.
Right.
So Trevor's forced to step back, and when a defense knows the quarterback's going to throw the ball every play,
Of course, yeah.
pinning their ears back, go after him.
Right.
So
And then we don't have the line to block for them.
Hell no.
Like, you know what I mean? And if he does have any type of time, he has the PTSD of being
Yeah.
hit so often.
Right.
Exactly.
It was just a recipe for failure.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you go back to like 23, right? Because I know you were talking about 22, like, and you still
just
have
thought 22.
Robinson and Anton as a rookie,
Yeah.
right? And you got two solid tackles, maybe not like Penei Sewell, but you got two solid tackles.
Anton played
right?
great, yeah.
Anton played great as a rookie,
Anton
for
played
sure.
great as a
but
rookie.
what I'm saying is, like, especially in 23, when he's stepping up into the pocket and Luke Fortner is just getting demolished, right?
Yeah.
God.
Like, instantaneously, he just doesn't have that ability to step into the pocket the way you want to. You don't have the ability to run the ball up the A gap and, create different misdirection to then, spur everything else.
Yeah.
It's literally a domino effect of the scheme being bad, the offensive line not playing up to standard. Yes, Trevor obviously has his flaws like every other quarterback.
quarterback
But they get heightened.
Yes.
Right? They get heightened significantly when everything else around you is not flowing in order. And we saw Trevor, how many times has Trevor throughout his career in a up-tempo 2-minute offense look like that guy?
When he's able to catch it.
I've been
reaching that.
I've been screaming into the TV.
Yes. 2-minute up-tempo offense.
I would say probably. I mean, they did it in 22 by accident,
right, because they had to come
Yeah,
because
they had to.
and it
right.
worked out.
but I don't understand why this doesn't click into anybody's head.
No.
Where
Look at Clemson.
Trevor in Clemson high
Yes.
school,
Man.
dominated.
Right.
2-minute drills, end of 22. Dominated. He was.
Right.
If you look at I know Nick Wright does it. He clips the last half of 22. All those stats are MVP quality statistics.
Yes.
Playing up tempo.
Yep.
They gotta. If I was in the press room, I'd ask Liam Cohen every day until he get sick of me.
Right.
Be like, yo, you think?
You ever think about
you ever think about going up tempo?
Right.
And I don't think they're gonna do that. However, I do still like the system, and I like the new regime, and I like the coaching.
Yeah.
I love the system.
And I think they'll be able to get it right with Trevor. And I think most importantly, I think they're gonna be able to run the ball so they can run play action with Trevor. He's a great. I mean, I think Trevor. He's got a great arm. I think as far as like deep ball threats, BT, Hunter,
Diami Brown.
Diami.
Yeah.
Like, there's gonna be if we can run the ball, guys. I'm telling you,
We are going to be
we're
an
gonna
elite
be
offense.
smoking people
Right.
down the field.
And my thing is, like, and this is nothing against Baker Mayfield. Like, Baker Mayfield obviously had a resurgence in his career in Tampa, right? After the Cleveland, shebang, obviously was in Carolina, didn't really work out.
Yeah.
LA for half a season didn't work out. Goes to Tampa. First year was, solid, was good.
With
enough
Dallas.
to keep him.
Yeah.
Correct. And then Cohen comes in 2024 and just, wow. Like, it's a night and day difference.
Why?
The run game, the offensive line,
my point.
and
Yeah.
just the ability to have misdirection with guys. It's not like the Buccaneers offense outside of like a Mike Evans, who's a future first ballot Hall of Famer.
Godwin.
Their running back
Like,
is
has-
Bucky Irvin.
Was Bucky
right?
Irvin
Yeah,
and Rashad
okay.
White,
Gotcha,
right? And
gotcha.
Bucky like
Yeah.
really came onto the scene because
He did so
Cohen
well.
made such an emphasis on it,
Yeah.
right? And having that ability, especially when you have Bashaw Tootin, Travis Etienne, and Tank Bigsby, assuming Etienne stays around, it's a topic for another day, right? Hope so. I love ETN. And I love
ETN.
And I love the relationship that him and Trevor have. And I love that we drafted him back in 2021.
100%.
Probably his last year, but let's make it a good one.
I think so.
I think it's last year in Jacksonville.
I don't think so. I think
we'll tune in next week.
We'll see next week. For the record, I also have Tank Bigsby in fantasy, so we'll put that aside right now. Still love you, Travis. But having said that, though, I think that with what Cohen was brought here to do was not just, hey, look, we need an overhaul, we need a new face, we need a younger face. It really is to get Trevor to play his effing best. Yeah. Because what we were saying with Baker is, it's not like Baker is some like world beater of a quarterback that is like,
and Trevor has more arm talent than him.
He's more talent in general.
The deep ball.
Yeah.
It's not like Baker was throwing deep balls consistently, down the sideline, in stride to, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, etc. No, majority of it was underneath stuff and screens, and it worked out because Cohen's offense is predicated upon that. Yeah. And that's why it worked out so good, because you have the running game, because you have misdirection, because you have two good outside threats in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, who are great one-on-one receivers that can do that. And Jacksonville has that, if not more, with a more talented quarterback. Yeah. So
exactly.
Theoretically, there isn't a reason why Trevor can't succeed in this offense with this, considering the weapons. And I think it's going to take a couple of weeks. I think you're going to have to see those growing pains initially, like we kind of already saw in the preseason. But it really looks like, and the thing that I'm most impressed by is the fact that Cohen and Udinsky and others are actually buying into Trevor, and they vocally speak it, versus our former head coach would never give that guy credit.
No, he would never.
He was reluctant to give him credit for whatever reason.
Reluctantly, he wouldn't even take any accountability. I don't want to harp in on them, but there was just, he never took accountability for just like some bad play calling, some play calls that he should have called.
Or maybe we just wouldn't understand. Us, we're just
I wouldn't explain that. I wouldn't explain that. You guys wouldn't understand.
Even understand.
You wouldn't get it.
The saddest day of my life. All right, that's a little strong. But one of the saddest days I've ever had was when Dougie P turned into Doug. I was upset.
He just turned into Doug.
When Press took over and treated him like a puppet, like, I don't know. But anyways, I think what you're saying is true though about the underneath stuff. I think Liam, and even if you look in the preseason too, like, Trevor's getting the ball out fast. He's getting out quick. He's getting it out underneath.
His mechanics are so much better.
They're cleaned up, sped up. Man. They're a lot. He's not having the Tim Tebow arm out here, chucking it.
But that was never his thing.
He was trying to play hero ball for a long time. You know what I mean? To your point with the line and things like that too. So I don't know. I think this regime has the right mindset.
Yeah,
I think Gladstone,
agreed.
Baselli's seen it. We were talking about this before, from the very beginning, he's seen the up, basically, and then mostly down.
The plummet.
But I think he's seen what do they actually need, and what does Trevor actually, what can make him good? What can make him great at the end of the day?
And I really just think all Trevor needs is solid hands and a solid line. And he's shown us, me personally, Marvin Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Man, the most solid hands that Trevor had,
that's saying something.
That is saying something.
And aged Marvin Jones, who we love.
I for sure. Marvin Jones. You know what I mean? But that was the most sticky hands that he has had in his whole career.
And maybe it was Evan Ingram when he had 114 receptions.
In 2020. I just mean in the span of a season. There was the stat, and I don't want to say the number incorrectly, but I think it was over a third of the receivers Trevor's played with throughout his career are no longer in the NFL.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was something like that. No, I'm so serious.
That's insane.
Guys respect to Tavon Austin, West Virginia legend, Laquan Treadwell, Marvin Jones Jr., DJ Chark, all these guys.
Yeah.
The majority of his receivers and his pass catching threats are literally not in the NFL anymore, outside of the guys that he's playing with. And it's not like the 1 year experiment with Calvin Ridley went fantastic. I think that there's a lot of issues beyond just Calvin himself, but let's not act like Ridley wasn't, what everybody had anticipated him to be after what he did in Atlanta before, being suspended for the 22 season.
And I still, I still kind of like Ridley too, but at the end of the day, to your point, he's not play. Trevor's not played with the best talent.
He hasn't.
Kirk. I was a big Christian Kirk fan.
I was a big Christian Kirk
He can't
fan.
stay healthy.
Christian, yeah.
He couldn't stay healthy. You know what I mean? The drops were an issue towards the end.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Evan Ingram fan. I thought if there was one thing that I wish Gladstone did and the front office did was keep him, just to add some rapport within the room. Because think about this. This is the issue with Trevor too that you were talking about is it's a coaches, offensive coordinators, receivers. It's a revolving door that he's going through, and he has no consistency in his own play because he has no consistency in the organization.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, what do we need to do? I mean, I don't know how fast they can build that. And to your point, the first half of the season might be a little bit rocky and a roller coaster, but I think by the halfway through, they could really hit a stride.
With this, we'll talk about it at some point. But with this schedule, I think he has the opportunity to really do that.
Yeah,
I think he has the opportunity to really come alive because our bye week is in such a midweek type of mid schedule. It's perfect.
That's going to be a great breaking point, I think, for us to kind of evaluate how Trevor's looking in this offense.
Exactly.
Kind of how the coaching staff is coming together. Really, in what we mentioned with Travis Hunter, right? Like how much defensively, offensively is he playing? How much of an effect is he making on both sides of the ball?
Yeah,
like it's going to be extremely important.
Like, does it need to go up? Does it need to go down? I think that they're going to be a time where they really get a chance to evaluate everything during that bye week, because after that, I think the schedule gets extremely easier than it's been.
Oh yeah, that first half of the schedule, for the most part, I feel like is relatively brutal for. Still is what a young-ish team that's still trying to figure it out with a new coach.
It is.
It is. I mean, you got the Rams in there, which shout out to my sister. She's going to be at that game across the pond. So
that's pretty dope. Holy shit.
So she's going to be across the pond for that game. You got the Rams. You've got the Chiefs on primetime football.
Yeah.
You get the Bills in there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think we got the Bills.
No.
We played
the 49ers in there.
San Fran.
The Niners. That's what I'm thinking.
San Fran, Cincy, which is
Cincy's is awesome. They always kind of start off kind of slow.
Cincy's a winnable game.
It is.
At Cincinnati.
But theoretically,
it'll be a shootout, I believe.
But I would love to see another shootout between Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence. I just don't want to get. I want Trevor to be hurt at the end of this one.
I would you know what I mean. I would like this to show up in prime time, or relatively prime time in big matchups.
And I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of losing to the Chiefs at home. Can we finally beat these guys at home?
Yeah, I think it was 20.
We got a packed bank for that.
I think it was 2019 when Mahomes came to Jacksonville the first time. I think it was week 1. Nick Foles. Remember, Nick Foles got injured. It was like DJ Chark had that touchdown.
Yeah,
and Foles had that shoulder
came
injury.
back too with. Yeah.
Well, I think Minshew played the rest of that game.
Yeah,
that was the year for Minshew Mania.
I'm saying after that, though, when they played him again, the second time with the Chiefs, when they played him at home.
Yes, that was a beatdown.
Yeah.
That was
San Fran. And San Fran was
that 22?
I think that was 22.
I think it was 22. Yeah, I think it was like week 2.
Anyway,
that might have been home opener. But anyways,
the point is, they got to figure out a way to win. Not only winnable games, like Carolina's not a joke.
Yeah, to be fair,
a lot of people are saying they are. They gotta. In my opinion, they got to prove it week 1 and come out hot because the rest of their schedule is tough.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Carolina's a joke.
No,
and listen,
that division's a joke.
Hey, honestly, but like Carolina that defense is a joke in my opinion, personally.
Yeah.
I think that Bryce Young is great. I love Bryce Young. I love Ted Mack. But if you can't defend anything, you're not gonna do it.
Let's not act like the Jaguars defense is like all that either.
Oh,
like,
no,
we gotta wait and see. You know what I mean? Like we
it could be a high scoring game.
Yeah.
But I think
I like us Bryce Young believer, and I think that he's gonna take off this year. Like, I really do.
Sure. It's not anything to do really with Carolina. At the end of the day, it's how we show us.
Yeah.
So that's really what I'm trying to say is like I want it to be a 31-17 game. I would love that. I don't want it to be a
as long as they go over 46.5. I may or may not have put a wager on that.
I don't want it to be this because they've been kind of.
I got us -6.
Yeah, I got you. I think it's like
I don't want it to be a sloppy game where they're barely squeaking out. Cam Little hits a 80-yard field goal to win.
Yeah, I don't want that. No, we should come out and be dominant.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Prove
we should come out and be dominant.
Week 1 because they know what's after that.
Right. Yeah, and they just want to.
I want to
what
win
did
in the
Minshew
trenches.
say in what was it 2020 after we won week 1 or something like these? Hey, look, let's not be after we beat the Colts. Remember, C.J. Henderson had that interception at the end of the game. Let's not settle. Like let's go out there and get it. And then we ended up like losing like 14 straight games, and everyone clowned us for that.
Yeah, we should probably not talk at all. I mean, Boselli said the same thing. He said, we're talking about the regime. He said, let's not pat ourselves on the back too hard with what we're doing in the offseason.
Yeah,
because this team's not complete. We're still. I mean, they had a kind of a sloppy joint practice in
Right.
in Miami.
It sounds like
so. It's like
It just sounds like there was a good defensive practice. I'm not gonna.
it's on both sides.
I mean,
it sounds
it
like
sounds
like-
like here's how we said that.
But
Yeah.
BTJ got active. From what I'm hearing,
Yeah.
I'm hearing BTJ got active.
Yeah,
you know.
I trust it.
Yeah, I think if there's one thing for me, and this might be an unpopular opinion, okay? Definitely an unpopular opinion when I say this.
Hot take.
If there's one thing I want Trevor to improve on the most, like I know you said you kind of agree with him, like Bill Simmons on the regards of like
Just the understanding
the
part.
understanding point,
Just the
right,
understanding part.
I have an opinion that nobody else is going to agree with, and I hate to say this about Trevor because I love
Here we
Trevor
go.
Lawrence to death. Are y'all ready for this?
I'm ready.
It's not about Trevor Lawrence getting better on the field. To be honest, it's not.
Yeah,
It's about those pregame speeches. What the hell is that? That I'm sorry, it puts me to sleep.
You're right.
I love Trevor Lawrence to
Yeah.
death, but let's go out there. Let's
Let's
get
go out
active,
there.
boys.
We're gonna go out there and play our game.
Like,
We're gonna play.
bro, I'm sorry, Trevor. Like, if you think you're gonna give the speeches, like you're not the guy to give the speeches. Like, who was it? Cam Robinson or Foye? Man,
Yeah.
those boys get
Foye,
I'm on
definitely.
Trayvon.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then
Saunders.
we got a lot of quiet guys on the team. in
Trayvon's a
general.
quiet guy, even though he's.
BTJ, like on the offensive side, we need somebody to step up in that role. I guess.
I need a nasty
But
dog. Like
I'm so happy you brought this up because I think I posted this on Twitter too a while back, but the biggest difference between Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence has better talent than Joe Burrow.
that's
Listen.
that's a hot
No,
take.
wait, listen.
Because
That's a
Joe
hot
Burrow
take.
says Joe Burrow's talented as hell.
He's talented. Listen,
Jamar Chase makes up for.
I'm saying talent wise in general, he's got better talent than Joe Burrow. However, Joe Burrow, you know where he crushes him? The mindset. He's Kobe over like
Trevor over Burrow's mindset.
No,
Burrow.
Burrow's mindset
Oh, I was
over
gonna say
Trevor.
Burrow's mindset is great. Are you kidding?
Burrow is Kobe, where
Yeah.
unfortunately, like I don't know, you're the NBA.
Trevor's
guy.
like LeBron.
No. He's like
2011 finals. No,
like
I'm kidding.
Mellow, like
kidding,
like
I'm kidding.
Mellow or
I'm
something.
kidding. Yeah, sure.
But
Trevor's like Dirk Nowitzki.
yeah,
Not even though, but
Not
I
even,
think, but that's a big point. What you're saying though is it's maybe not even as much on the field as his mindset and his like. I want Trevor to be playing with confidence.
But how
I want-
can
I
he
want-
play with confidence? He hasn't had anything to be confident in. Like he
Except
hasn't
for
had
himself.
a line to be confident in.
No,
He
no,
hasn't
no,
had
no.
a
But
coaching staff.
I want him to be confident in himself. I want him to be able to swing for the fences right out the gate. I want
Fair.
him to play with a chip on his shoulder.
Fair.
I want him
Right.
to play like his hair's on fire starting week 1 because it is the biggest year. This is a make or break year for Trevor Lawrence.
sure.
Even though the contract, he will be, even if he
still
has a bad
Yeah,
year.
next year,
next
for
year.
sure.
Yeah.
This is the year reputation wise,
Right.
the biggest year in Jaguars football,
Mhm.
but also the biggest year in Trevor's career, period.
Agreed.
Correct.
Because
agree.
he's either after this year going to be a bust or he's going to win, come back,
correct.
player
yeah.
of the year.
Assuming health, of course.
Yeah.
Assuming health. That's the biggest thing because we
Even if it's another season ending injury, that's to Bill Simmons' point, you could say I'm out because that's what 3 out of the 5 years.
I can't
sorry.
do that. I can't.
God,
You're gonna
God
do that.
for- no, I'm sorry.
forbid,
God
100%.
forbid. Knock on wood. Trevor Lawrence has a season-ending injury this year. Say he plays half the season, right? Let's just say going into the bye week,
Well, I guess how he looks, but
right? Sure,
Yeah.
but like, let's just say he looks like solid,
yeah,
right? I'm not gonna say he looks like an MVP, but he doesn't look bad either. Like,
yeah.
we're 500. Trevor Lawrence looks solid.
He's a top
brand
15
new
quarterback.
Top 12. I'll even
Top-
say like
yeah,
top-
yeah.
top-
He should be top 10 this year.
he should be.
and I'm putting that standard on
I
him.
honestly, I already think
I'm
he
not mad
is.
at that.
What he's
I'm not
shown,
mad at it.
I think that all things considered,
Yeah.
right? The scheme, the injuries, the drop passes,
Yeah.
and just what he's been able to do in terms of elevating those around him. For the most part,
Mm-hmm.
he is a top 10 quarterback. It's just that obviously those numbers in the box score don't reflect that. But I think when you take everything into consideration, he's shown to be a top 10 to 12 quarterback in this league. He's in that Kyler Murray, maybe
Yeah.
even a tick above. Like he's right in that echelon.
If he gets his
Agreed.
turnovers
Agreed.
under control, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I
Not
think it's a contextual
context.
argument. You're in such a dependent position,
Yeah.
right? As to what the play call is, situational football, offensive line. Obviously,
Yeah.
quarterback is absolutely dependent in regards to all of that.
Yeah.
But I just don't know that this is necessarily like it is a make or break year, but it's not like, hey, Jacksonville has to move on from Trevor Lawrence after this year because there's almost no way that he is just terrible and has
No,
the worst
I
year
don't-
of his
It would
career.
just be it would be a deflating following year, is what I'm saying.
Correct. If he's healthy and underperforms.
Yeah, it'd be a huge disappointment.
Yeah,
I think if he didn't play well. And I guess what? I'm going on prediction this year. Comeback player of the year. He's going to be.
Yes. He's I like that idea.
He's going to be. He's going to be.
That's not
top.
bad take.
He's going to be a top 10 quarterback this year. I'm very confident saying
top
that.
10 quarterback this year.
Yes.
All things aside.
Baker Mayfield was tied with Lamar Jackson for number 2 in the NFL.
Baker's going to have a hot year too. I think he's going to play well too. But I
would
like to see their offense without their coordinator though. You know
who?
Cohen without Cohen.
Cohen.
He's saying he
was the year before.
Huh?
Are you talking about Tampa?
Yes.
Yeah.
The year before with Canales, he was
correct, but he's talking about like now moving forward.
Yeah.
Baker had the best year of his career, 40 plus touchdowns.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
You don't think it's gonna matter?
I think that team's loaded, but I mean, we're
not
a Bucks podcast, but the Bucks are going to be a wagon this year.
Right.
You think?
Okay.
I mean,
offensively, they'll be a wagon.
I don't. They might be. I actually didn't take any Buccaneers players in fantasy. I had the opportunity between like in the second round. It was like Henry, Jacobs, and Bucky.
Yeah.
I ended up going Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
because consistency. Whatever. It was like that was a tough one to kind of come up with.
Yeah, I would say Baker. Depending on this year, I think he could win. We're talking about MVPs, like underrated.
All right, come on. I like Baker, but come on, chill. That's
You'll see. You'll see.
I like Baker.
I'd rather
I'm hating on
crazy take. That's a crazy take. I think that they're probably gonna give Lamar that MVP that they owed him last year. So I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a all right. Damn, like just take it. MVP. Just take it MVP. Yeah. Like. I'm not even gonna say his name. I don't even like saying his name because one of my boys is a big.
We call him clueless. We call him clueless. Because anytime the camera's on him, it looks like he's just like staring into space. Like,
don't get me wrong, unbelievably talented, unbelievably and undoubtedly one of the best quarterbacks in football. I'm not gonna disrespect him.
No.
But like, come on, Lamar. What he did last year was I've never seen anything like it. And you can bring up everything else you want. Did Mark Andrews not drop that pass in the end zone that could have cost them their season? And like, there's only so much he can do. Listen, has he been perfect in the postseason? Yeah. No. But like, I think Lamar is one of them ones. Like, he is a different breed. He's the most talented quarterback in football. That shouldn't even be a conversation. He's the most talented quarterback in football.
But like,
no one can run, pass, evade the pocket, create more time. He has a effing accurate arm.
Mm-hmm.
He is a gunslinger.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me. And his best receiver has been Zay Jones, Zay Flowers.
The lights get bright for him sometimes, though. I do see that 100%.
For Lamar?
For Lamar, yes. in the playoffs, but when the lights are,
it was his fault that Andrews dropped the ball.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, but he made a lot of mistakes in that game before that.
Didn't Zay Flowers also had a fumble? If I'm not mistaken, I'm going off the top of my head. Zay Flowers fumbled it and like cost them like in the red zone in plus territory. Yeah. Like there's only so much you can do. If Zay Flowers, who is a great, I think, wide receiver 2.
By the way, this is not a Ravens podcast.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
More bucks.
I'm just saying. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like Lamar is. Unpopular opinion. I think he's the best quarterback in football, talent-wise.
Same.
Let's go
talent. Yeah.
Let's go back to Trevor real quick. Since we're talking about top elite quarterbacks, let's talk about CJ Stroud.
Okay.
Sure.
Who would you guys rather have over the next 5 to 10 years?
Trevor has more talent. Trevor's proven.
Let's
just as much.
Teams aside, because you can't
just talent.
Just. Based on talent, you're starting a team, right now. You have a number 1 overall pick, and you have 2 quarterbacks. Who you taking?
I'm taking Trevor.
But with respect to CJ, like it's 1A, 1B. I wouldn't be mad if someone said talent-wise, CJ. I think Trevor's got a better deep bomb for sure.
100%.
Trevor's definitely one of the best and most underrated deep passers in the game.
100%.
But where I give CJ the benefit of the doubt, even though I like to rank on him a lot, just playfully, is just considering the fact that he had the worst offensive line last year, and that's saying something.
And they have a worse one this year.
And they have a worse one this year, considering the fact that Trevor Lawrence had a terrible offensive line as well too. So I think CJ's got all the talent, and CJ's definitely proven it. But I think that just very slightly in terms of just the sheer talent and athleticism, Trevor's better at evading the pocket. Trevor's better at using his legs to, get more yardage.
To extend plays.
100%. And like I say, is he Lamar Jackson? No, but he's definitely better than CJ when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And
but yeah.
It's close though. It is close.
It's a very fine line for me between how bad I want Trevor to be great and what is the truth. So I think right now
This is the year that's going to say it. This is the year that's
I
going to
think
say it. Yeah.
which like decision making accuracy, whether you like it or not, it's not about
it's
running the ball.
CJ.
It's CJ. It's CJ.
It's CJ.
It's CJ. It's CJ.
So I don't have a problem saying it's CJ right now. I will say going forward, I would take Trevor.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
what I've seen and what I think, and I know I said system aside, what I see in the system,
Right.
I think he's gonna.
Yeah.
He broke his own rule.
I broke my own
For real.
but just because I want to root for him,
Right, of
And I
course.
think like
of
when we're
course, yeah.
talking about
That's
like
the hard
who
part.
we're choosing, like what is it? Is it based off just ability alone? And
Yeah,
you
just
know what I mean?
what you've seen,
What you've seen.
What I've seen, I would rather have Trevor. Like in the
Yeah,
purpose.
it's
of,
neck
fans
and
are
neck, yeah.
pissed right now.
don't give it-
Not really. I feel
They're
I
like,
think
yeah,
we're
about
being
the sex
objective and
issue.
honest.
at the screen.
I think that we're being objective and honest. I think that like
I think
we're not sitting here dogging CJ. We acknowledge CJ's a
No,
good
CJ 's a
quarterback.
good quarterback.
CJ's very good. He's very accurate.
Yeah.
You know, decision making. But he also has not had the best offensive line to work with. He had injuries to guys like Tank Dell, the top wide receiver. Right? Like I think DeMeco Ryans, even as a defensive minded head coach, is a terrific head coach. I think he's a
100%.
great job.
Yeah.
Does a great job of like commanding that locker room.
He's a player's coach.
He is. And look,
Yeah.
I'm not a
So is
football
Lee
player.
Cohen, by the way, which is
Correct.
Which is
But
great.
I think D'Amico, from just what I've seen from him from a distance, he's somebody that I would like want to run like through a brick wall for.
Right.
In a much different way than Cohen. I think I could,
But I think
like,
that's true for
sit down
both.
with Cohen and like have a glass of wine with him and his family. Like
Yeah.
that's how I look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Lee and
yeah.
Cohen.
Yeah.
I would wanna
D'Amico
play
Ryans,
for
I'm like,
both.
I would want to like run through a brick wall for D'Amico Ryans.
Which is the biggest thing for Cohen and this new regime too is like, you know, they're so young and inexperienced. Which
Right.
For us at a point where like, yeah, that's awesome. They're different. They're
Right.
cool. Like, but at the end of the day, he's never been a head coach. Udensky's never been an offensive coordinator.
Right.
Campanelli's never been a defensive coordinator. Gladstone's never been a GM. It's like,
Right.
how many times it's like, yo, we're going to change a new owner for like,
It's gonna take a
you know what
moment.
I mean,
It's
it's
gonna
like,
take chemistry and continuity.
so there's a lot of question marks that we got going on.
Right.
So I think
I like that.
I like that too.
I like that.
And I like the
Yeah.
different perspective and the different mindset, which I think is why it's going to work.
right.
Yeah.
But I hope that in crunch time, when it means something in these games, we won a lot of close. We lost a lot of close games.
Yeah.
10.
We're a
Yeah,
lot
like
of
one
close
possession games
One
last year.
possession
Yeah.
games, 10.
And that doesn't come from, you don't do that because of inexperience, though. You don't win those games.
That's
because of
coaching.
inexperience.
Absolutely.
It's coaching.
Situational football.
And
Yeah.
situational football, which I know they've been harping on during training camp too.
Right.
So
Mhm.
I believe in them. I believe in Trevor, even though it might not seem like it sometimes.
Yeah.
But I believe in them. I believe in the new regime too. I think they're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I think so too.
And yeah, just because I know that we're kind of getting a little bit limited on time, I just do want to wrap up one more thing with you guys too, because you mentioned Gladstone just now, and just
Yeah.
kind of we're on this topic of like new regime, how everyone's going to kind of fit in. We obviously were pretty active, throughout the draft. Obviously trading up to get Travis Hunter in free agency. Maybe we didn't make any huge splashes, but you bring in guys like Patrick McCarry, Jordan Lewis, a handful of other guys. Small things that, hopefully, like we saw Trent Baalke in 2021 be relatively conservative with this free agent class
Yeah.
that first year. 2022 is when he kind of like metaphorically like went all in with it, right? And it obviously ended up working out. With the additions that we've had this offseason, who do you guys kind of see as like one guy that outside of Travis Hunter, of course, who we've talked about, as like someone like you're really excited to watch this year, kind of how they're going to fit? Who do you think that guy is for you?
For me, it's Jordan Lewis.
Yeah.
Like
Jordan
we,
Lewis,
we,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
For me, it's Jordan. I've watched him in practice. Like he diving interceptions, all type of like really great coverages. That you know what I mean. It seems like you could just plug him in and play wherever.
Right.
And his mindset is just football, see ball, get ball.
And he's
Right.
a dog.
He's
he is.
a dog.
To your point where you're saying about like leadership and like rallying the team too, like we need more dogs on this team.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
more
100%.
attitude and like more chip on your shoulder kind of play. Jordan Lewis, I love that. That was gonna be my pick, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Because I Gladstone's made a lot of other like smaller moves that have been okay, which
Right.
I've questioned, to be honest, especially at the safety position. We'll talk on another podcast about.
Yeah.
But I think Jordan Lewis, if there's gonna be one guy, because I don't even think during the draft, other than Travis, Travis Hunter, there's
Right.
really any impact guy. I think everybody's gone the tooting
Right.
bandwagon, which
Yeah.
I don't feel that way because I love Tank and ETM.
Right.
more.
I think that's a terrific 1-2 punch. Like,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that they should ride that out this year.
So I think impact player, Jordan Lewis.
Yeah.
If you're going to go for like
Crazy. I had a completely different answer than y'all.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And look, I love that dog factor that I think Jordan brings, right? Especially because like we need that because, you know, I love Jerry and I think he's gonna have a huge year this year.
Yeah.
Tyson, when he's healthy, is obviously a very good corner.
I'm so sold on him.
But for me, it's Diami Brown. Like I was so excited when we landed him, and I still am because not necessarily what he's going to do in terms of the numbers. I don't think his numbers are going to be unbelievable this year,
Yeah.
right? It's simply the fact that if he is going to be that downfield vertical threat that we need to help take the top off of a defense, that is going to open up so much for Brian Thomas underneath. And obviously he can create separation in those intermediate routes, 10 to 15 yards. You have Travis Hunter underneath running everything. Brenton Strange.
Parker Washington.
Parker Washington.
I was biting my tongue.
I was going to
let him talk.
Right.
Okay.
But
gonna let him
the
talk.
reason why is it's because you have to respect that threat.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned, I think Trevor is a top 5-ish quarterback when it comes to that deep ball.
Yeah,
He
same.
is freaking accurate, has the arm talent and everything. So I'm right there with you guys. I think it's Diami Brown.
Yeah.
And we could talk about Parker and the rest of the guys at another time.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
to your point though,
Yeah.
like even in preseason, Diami Brown, that end around where he punishes the
Yes.
guy on the
Yes,
oh my god, he runs him
Yeah.
slap over. It was incredible.
we need that.
I meant to say this earlier too. just
Yeah,
about,
we'll
like,
kind
the
of
new-
wrap it up.
Yeah,
after that,
but like the new scheme and things like that too. The interchangeable pieces between BTJ, Travis Hunter,
Right.
Diami, like they all can play in the slot. They all can
Right.
play on the outside. People don't know what's going on when they're motioning because they all can play those different positions. Gives us a lot of flexibility and a lot of misdirection where we can have some big plays.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that just, you know, like you said, with the big year that we're going into with Trevor, with this team, evaluation kind of everything.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter coming in as a, you know, big media piece, you know, and all the free agent acquisitions that we brought in. I think that there's a lot of potential, a lot of reasons to be excited,
Yeah.
even with everything and all the national media criticism that we've had. But otherwise, like I'm definitely excited to see how this team's going to continue to come together. Just the pieces, just totally, you know what I mean, from
agreed.
top to bottom. So
Agreed.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great
It's gonna be
year.
a fun year, one
For
for
sure.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think it's been a great episode 1 of the Jungle Beat podcast, you know, right here underneath the Happy Hour Sports branding. And, you know, this is going to be something that's going to be weekly. It's going to be continuous. Continue to talk about these topics, especially in the offseason before we get to week 1.
Yep.
And, you know, otherwise it's going to be a great year, you know, for all of us here, not just here inside the studio and the podcast, but hopefully for the Jaguars as well. So we appreciate each and every single one of you guys for tuning in and supporting us here today. Thank you for all of your continuous support, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.